What's happening, YouTube? My name is Albert. So, this is video number 4, addressing migratory pain, migratory inflammation, which I'm monitoring so that I can keep a good record so that I can see what's going on with this behavior. Because migratory arthritis and pain and inflammation means that it's moving around the body, and they consider it a phenomenon because they don't know how that goes about. Like, I literally may have a pain in one area and then overnight it goes away and shows up somewhere else. And so what I'm doing is that because I'm taking a look, because I'm monitoring, I get a better tab on what's going on. And so I'm going to show my foot and share what's going on here with all the pictures that I've been taking so that I can see what's going on with better perspective. And so right here, there's swelling all through here. Now, it's 7 o'clock p.m., so it's important for me to share that in the morning, this swelling is gone. So swelling develops while walking around, after I eat and all that stuff. And then there's redness all through here. All through here. And so migratory pain means that over here, it hurt before and it's gone. But it moved from here to here. So there's a new flare here that wasn't there yesterday. And then there's a new one in here somewhere. Now this bone right here, there's pain going through this bone, but I'm going to go through with oregano oil mixed with coconut oil so that I can feel it through. Now, what I'm doing is that because I'm doing this practice here every 3 days or so, I'm starting to notice that it's going away, but there's less of a flare happening as it subsides. Also, I had ice cream today. I had ice cream on purpose. I had ice cream because I wanted to see because I thought that it was the ice cream that did this. But because I'm taking a good tab on everything, I'm thinking it's bombardment, which means that for a span of time, I was eating way too much breads, way too much pastas. And my body, when it gets bombarded like that, and the reason why I'm saying this is because I normally have ice cream the same time all the time for months, years, without any problem because I don't abuse it. But I have it every once in a while, like once a month, 2 times a month, okay. But anything more than that, but lately, before this came on, I was having way more ice cream than normal, way more breads than normal. And so sometimes it's not one thing like we think. Oh, it was the ice cream, no more ice cream. No, sometimes ice cream may be a cofactor of all the other factors, the breads and this and that, eating late, because my body is sensitive and has always been sensitive because I had a similar situation, migratory, but I didn't know it was called migratory. Back then, we called it autoimmune. And it's probably within the family of autoimmune, but that's what it was considered. A lot of times when I share my story, like the first 2 videos, I was not clear because I make it out like I'm a natural dude and I'm a holistic dude, which, yes, you can call me that. But the reason why I'm a natural dude and a holistic dude is because I went to the medical industry for a year and a half and saw so many doctors that they turned me away. They didn't know what to do. The only thing they told me was that they saw from the blood test that I had a high SED rate, which means my red blood cells were elevated, which shows that there is inflammation, but they didn't know why. And so they left me to it. And so I missed this story, man, because this story goes back 20 plus years ago. I can't remember that far. And from 20 years on, when I turned to fruits and vegetables and staying away from dairy, meats, chicken, everything, I stayed away from everything in 9 months. My problem, which it wasn't here, it was upper limbs, it was around here, it was around this area at the time. And so when it went away in 9 months, I attributed it to nature's foods, watermelons, bro, fasting. And so I'm taking that approach, but I'm not taking a full-on fasting approach because since I'm making progress, I don't have to take a drastic approach yet. I'm gonna now do my ritual here, which means that I'm gonna spray oregano oil, because what I do is that I feel through the leg to report right here there's pain running through this bone. And this is typical. It may be less here sometimes and more here sometimes. But one thing that I need to report is that in here, there was pain and it's freaking almost gone. What's happening here is that it's swollen. So there's inflammation over here that's partially through standing. Like after I walk around and after I have a long day, this happens. But in the morning, it's gone. But it's still more swollen than the left leg. So it's important for me to report that it's not totally healed, but it's flaring away. Flaring away means that there's flares, but nothing's getting worse. It's almost like a decline of flares where things start to travel at a less degree, which I shared. So now, if this all of this here, there's a pain up here, which I want to know. There's also this red, a blotch of red stuff here. And so on this side, where I reported pain here, and so there's no pain on the right side where there was before. So now the ice cream is important because as I go through this migratory inflammation flipping on me and doing what it does, I added the ice cream to see if anything will get worse off of it. Because right now I'm monitoring it pretty good to the point where I get a feel like I already know, okay, over here, this is going to change. I got the pain here, and now it's gone. And now I got this one here. And I got a good sense. And thanks to me sharing these videos that I'm able to get a really good sense, because my homework is to watch this very video tomorrow, and then it's recorded. And so it's very fresh. And so before making this video, I watched the last video before this so that I have it in my mind where the pain was. And because I'm doing that, I'm actually able to gauge a lot of the activities where I could not do that if I didn't make these videos, because these changes of pain is like a head trip. Because if I didn't do these videos, I'll be like, was that pain there yesterday? Wait a minute. Is this the same? Is this worse or is it better? But here, I'm getting a gauge now. I'm not seeking any outside help for the reason, according to the medical industry, something that they couldn't treat 20 years ago. They left me to turn to nature. So I turned to nature on account of that. I would have never thought during that whole 1.5 year span while I was seeing so many different doctors that I would end up eating 38 watermelons, bro. 30 or 40, I can't even count, bro. I brought freaking so many watermelons, bro. I brought so many watermelons. Watermelons were going bad in my house, bro. They were freaking falling apart. I had so many because after, when you don't know what to do, you turn to whatever to get better. Like the people who are against fasting, they don't know what it's like to be sick, because I could care less about maintaining muscle while I'm sick. I want to feel better, man. It's like, it's so important to feel better when you're sick that long. Every day you wake up to like lumps and pain. And so this here 20 years ago got so bad, but up here, where it got to a point where I couldn't walk and my sister had to drive me to the hospital. And at the hospital was where they kept on recommending me to see different people. So I saw specialists for infectious diseases and allergists. I saw people that specialize in a lot of these things where, you know, the doctor will recommend. I didn't know who to see or who to choose. I saw anyone. And so 1.5 years of this, can you imagine the ordeal that I was going through as this stuff was flaring up and doing all the things that it does? And so this here keeps a really good tab on the do's and don'ts. Like the ice cream now, after I had ice cream today, I'm not going to have ice cream for a long time to see if it flares away. And then later on, I'll go ahead and dip and dab, because there's also a possibility that I'm allergic to chemicals that they put in certain foods, these chemicals that provide taste. I don't want to say the name of the chemicals, but it's out there. Like, it really doesn't matter the name, because I think everyone needs to find out through their own sources what they eat and maybe what's the culprit. And so this is such a personal ordeal that this is definitely not any type of advice whatsoever if there's anyone chiming in. And so this covers this video. I did a really good job explaining because it's so clear now. The first two videos were not clear enough because I was trying to get my head around this whole 25 year span of since the last time this migratory situation came about so long ago, to try to put the pieces of the puzzle together so that I can sound like this, because I think I sound kosher. Since it's going away, I'm on the right track. I am actually testing things like having ice cream today, which is a really good thing, because I'll give you an example before I close. The reason why it's important that I had ice cream today was because yesterday I wanted ice cream and I considered to do it yesterday. Now, yesterday the swelling was down, man. It was freaking awesome. And that's what led me to say, well, have it, because it was like this perfect time. But something told me don't. And in the morning, I had a swell. Now, if I had the ice cream, I would have blamed it on the ice cream. But I had a swell without the ice cream, which means that it was the migratory behavior doing its thing. Now, that's the important part, because we have a tendency to take something, and then if something shows up the next day, we blame it on it, and it may not be that at all. It may just be that the body goes through its process with or without whatever you may think. And so see here, I did it, man. A really good job expressing myself. And so I'm going to make another video in 3 days. So until the next one, catch ya!